By from Abuja, TVC News correspondent Lara Afolayan. She was there at the event. Now, Lara, tell us, at the end of the day, key economic indices remain retained. Tell us, how did it play out?
Okay, thank you, Tolu. Of course, the Monetary Policy Committee meeting of today is the 117th one being held by the committee. Of course, the last meeting held in November last year, we saw a delay in the meetings this year as a result of the delayed confirmation of some MPC members and deputy governors of the Central Bank of Nigeria by the National Assembly. That has now been done, and the new officials assumed office last week. And at the end of the meeting, which was today, it started yesterday actually, and it ended today, we saw the Monetary Policy Committee leaving its monetary policy stance unchanged. The MPR was left at 14%. The cash reserve requirement was left unchanged at 22.5%, and the liquidity ratio at 30%. The asymmetric corridor was also left steady. The Central Bank of Nigeria governor, of course, acknowledged that leaving the rates, cutting down the rates would impact positively on economic growth, but it could impact negatively on consumer prices, hence the reason for the Monetary Policy Committee's decision, among several other reasons. Of course, economic analysts had preempted what would happen today, with many of them saying that the rates would likely be cut down. They cited the country's favorable economic indices at the moment. They talked about the GDP, for example, which has remained on the upside since Nigeria recovered from recession in the second quarter of last year. We saw the GDP, the fourth quarter GDP rise to 1.42% year on year last year. And we've also seen inflation, trending down. And the Naira, of course, has remained steady, against the greenback. They said the foreign reserves have also been on the upside. And they said all these indicators point to the fact that the MPC will likely cut down the rates. But some had argued that inflation still needs to go down a bit to about 10%, and that the MPC may not cut down on the rates. It may want to watch the rates, to see what will happen in May, and maybe in June when it reconvenes, it could now cut down on the rates. And we saw that was the decision that the MPC took today by leaving the rates unchanged, leaving it at 14%.
Well, great one there. We, just like you said, a lot of positives. Even the foreign reserve seems to be steady at more than 46 billion US dollars. This is part of the microeconomy, is also doing very, very well. What about the new guys as the members of the MPC? Any reactions from them? How's it been? Many said, since the new guys are just coming in, how was it like, seeing them at the MPC meeting, finally forming a quorum?
Of course, we saw the new members, the new MPC members, 3 of them, and 2 new deputy governors. In fact, the Central Bank of Nigeria governor raised the issue that one of the assumptions, raised by the public before the start of the MPC meeting was that the rates would not be changed, considering the fact that there are some new members in their midst, and they may just still be learning the ropes. But the governor said that did not inform the decision as to why the rate was left unchanged, that the new officials, have been properly inducted, they've learned the ropes, and they're quite, experienced professionals. So their new membership of the board is not an issue. I think apart from that, analysts have been reacting to this development. Quite a number of them that I spoke with earlier today, one of them particularly expressed surprise. He said he actually thought that the rates would be pushed down, that what else does the Monetary Policy Committee need to see as regards the country's economic indicators, which have been doing rather positively at the moment. He actually said he was hoping that the rates would at least be tweaked. I mean, the MPR would be tweaked to at least by 1% to 13%. But he didn't see that happen. He says it's bad for business. He says this means that we are not going to be seeing cheaper access to credits by the real sector anytime soon. He said it would definitely affect investments into the Nigerian economy. And the CBN governor said that he's aware that the disbursement of credits to the real sector is on the downside, but that the CBN would, try all it can to ensure that, we begin to see an increase in lines of credit to the real sector. He says such strategies will be unveiled in time to come. But the analyst says it doesn't. The analyst says it doesn't see that happens. That the CBN needs to allow the numbers, dictate the pace, right, at which the credits had been extended to the real sector of the Nigerian economy. But some still say that they support what the MPC has done. That having new members in the MPC, having new deputy governors, it may be too soon. Yeah. And they are quite hopeful that come the next MPC meeting, we will see the rates being cut down.
Lara Afolayan, business correspondent there live from Abuja, bringing us up to speed with activities at the just concluded MPC meeting in Abuja. Thank you very much, Lara.